Starmer is in a world of trouble, and it's becoming increasingly evident that the Labour Party is unravelling. We're diving headfirst into the chaos surrounding mass councillor resignations, the explosive Rochdale reports, and the internal turmoil that's threatening to rip Labour apart at the seams. Buckle up, because it's not pretty. In a shocking turn of events, 20 councillors have just thrown in the towel in Broxtowe. These aren't just random newcomers, they're hardcore Labour loyalists with a combined 250 years of membership. And they're out the door in a heartbeat.
Why?
They believe Starmer has completely lost sight of what the party stands for. These councillors are fed up with talk of slashing the winter fuel allowance during a crippling cost of living crisis. They feel that Starmer has let down the WASPy women, those 1,950 women who were shortchanged by pension shifts. And let's not even discuss his stance on Gaza. It's clear they're not impressed. But here's the kicker, this discontent isn't confined to Broxtowe. It's spreading like wildfire throughout the entire party, and that's a serious red flag. When you start losing loyal supporters, you know you're in hot water. And Starmer? He's drowning. This isn't just a few disgruntled councillors, this is a full-blown crisis. The numbers are staggering. Labour has lost 33 council seats since the last election while only managing to gain 6. That's a net loss of 27 seats. Meanwhile, the Tories have gained 24 seats, Reform UK snagged 7, and even the Liberal Democrats and Greens have picked up a couple. Everyone is winning except for Labour, which is baffling given that they should be riding high after their recent general election victory. Instead, they're bleeding support, having lost over 20% of council by-elections. This isn't mere bad luck, it's an outright disaster. What's even more alarming is how even Labour's own councillors are publicly criticising Starmer. When your own team starts throwing you under the bus, it's a sign of serious trouble. This crisis isn't localised, it's a nationwide issue, with Labour losing ground in both urban and rural areas. The implications for Starmer and Labour are dire. When you're losing to everyone from the Tories to the Greens, and your own members are calling you out, it's time to panic. To make matters worse, Elon Musk is now in the mix, unleashing a barrage of criticism aimed directly at Starmer regarding his tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions. Musk alleges that Starmer allowed rape gangs to exploit young girls without facing justice. This is no small accusation. A report detailing the failures in Rochdale from 2004 to 2013 paints a damning picture of police and local authorities, highlighting how young girls were left vulnerable while officials dropped the ball. Starmer was in charge of the Crown Prosecution Service during this time, and now Musk's accusations are raising serious questions about his competence and the systemic failures that occurred under his watch. Adding fuel to the fire, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch is echoing Musk's call for a new inquiry into what they're labelling the rape gang scandal. Badenoch claims it's high time for a comprehensive national inquiry, suggesting that the delay in addressing these issues is a blatant attempt to sweep them under the rug. While Badenoch and Musk are demanding accountability, the current government seems to be dodging the issue entirely, leaving Starmer in an incredibly precarious position. Inside the Labour Party, the discontent is palpable. Steve Edwards, a Labour councillor from Dudley, has gone so far as to label Starmer a liar, a brutal indictment coming from within the ranks. More and more long-time supporters are voicing their concerns that Starmer has strayed far from Labour's foundational values. They're accusing him of abandoning the party's commitment to protecting the most vulnerable in society, specifically pensioners and children. These criticisms are gaining traction, and when constituents are expressing dissatisfaction about their leader, it's a clear signal that something is very wrong. The polls reflect this discontent, showing Starmer's popularity plummeting to unprecedented lows for a new Prime Minister. He's become more unpopular in just 5 months than any other leader since the 1970s, even surpassing the lows of Thatcher and Blair during their toughest times. The reasons for this dip are multifaceted, from proposed cuts to the winter fuel allowance to the ongoing fallout from the WASPy women debacle. But at the heart of it all is a growing perception that Starmer has abandoned the principles that once defined the Labour Party. With a potential loss of around 200 seats looming on the horizon, the reality is sinking in for Labour. They may be on the brink of an electoral disaster. The party that was supposed to challenge the Conservatives is instead crumbling under its own weight, and if Starmer doesn't turn things around quickly, he risks dragging everyone down with him. In summary, Labour is in deep trouble. Starmer's leadership is being questioned not just by opponents but by his own party members. The economy is faltering, and the internal chaos is palpable. If things don't change soon, the party could face an electoral wipeout that would leave them reeling for years to come. The time for action is now, but with Starmer at the helm, the future looks bleak.